Well, them is his titles. It's all respect. Like I told everybody for a long time. I'm like, man, me and Canelo. I got a ton of respect for Canelo. I'm a fan of Canelo. I always been a fan of Canelo, and I wanted to be the one to give him back his belts. I didn't want my team to hand him back his belts. I wanted to be the one to give him back his belts.
Yeah. The only thing I told him was that you could not give Canelo the center of the ring. And earlier you gave it to him, but then he started outboxing him and outsmarting him with it, and he started taking it back at the right time. So he studied the film very well. He knew when to fight, when to move left, and when to move right. It was a very smart fight. He completely frustrated Canelo.
The only thing I wonder is if Crawford was born and made in a laboratory, in a test tube, because that was science. That was pure science. No two ways about it.
Something incredible just happened in the arena. Crawford has pulled off a massive upset, taking down Canelo in a way no one saw coming. The place is buzzing. Even the experts are in disbelief. And the boxing world feels like it just flipped a page into a new chapter. Right in the middle of all the noise, Crawford's dad stepped up. He said, "I knew my son was that good." No surprise in his voice, just calm, confident belief. Those words carried years of hard work, late nights, and quiet faith. A reminder that greatness doesn't happen overnight. It's built slowly, with patience and grit. In that one sentence, he captured a lifetime of belief and a moment that will go down in boxing history. Then, just as things were settling, Roy Jones shared his thoughts. And when a legend like him speaks, people listen.
Beat that brother. He's going to be up there somewhere close to the top 5, I promise you.
Roy's comment wasn't just a casual reaction. It was a true stamp of approval from one of boxing's greatest minds. His words added even more weight to Crawford's win. This wasn't just noise or hype. It was real recognition, the kind that sticks and becomes part of history. With that, Crawford's win turned into something more than just a big fight. It became a benchmark. Now, the discussion is shifting. Where does Crawford stand among the sport's all-time greats? Then came respected analyst Gareth A. Davies. Known for his sharp takes and deep understanding of the sport, his reaction brought a mix of amazement and authority that summed up the moment perfectly.
Absolutely, I picked Canelo because I thought he was so much bigger, almost three weight divisions above him. But the majesty and poise of Terence Crawford's brilliance tonight was to the fore. I had it 9 rounds to 3. I can just about see 8 rounds to 4, the 16-12 score. I cannot see 7 rounds to 5 from 2 of the judges. Terence Crawford tonight, at speed of thought, speed of hands, speed of feet, took it to Canelo when he had to. Canelo had no answers to him. For me, Terence Crawford moves up to the #1 pound-for-pound spot in the sport right now, above Naoya Inoue, above Alexander Usyk. He is incredible. To become, historically, a 3-weight undisputed world champion, it just beggars belief what he's managed to do. He was immense tonight. He took it with humility. There was a little bit of emotion afterwards, but from first to last, I have to say it, Canelo did not have the answers for him. So let's take nothing away from Crawford. It was all of his doing.
Oh, absolutely.
He was the one that made Canelo look older, slower, and without the right answer.
This wasn't just someone handing out compliments. It was a solid technical take, laid out with care. Every detail he shared pointed to how completely Crawford owned the fight. It showed his skill, start to finish. From Gareth's seasoned perspective, this wasn't just a shocking result. It was a performance worthy of praise. A masterclass, not an accident. In that moment, it was clear Crawford had reached the absolute peak of boxing. Then Adam Catterall stepped in. His analysis was sharp and honest, focusing more on facts than feelings. He explained exactly how Crawford took apart a champion, round by round.
He schooled him. He schooled him from start to finish.
Him.
Listen, it was cagey at the start, don't get me wrong. There was a little bit of nip and tuck, there was a little bit of downloading the data, seeing what the situation is. Interesting that for the full 12 rounds, he only boxed in southpaw. No switch hitting tonight, stayed in southpaw. A little bit of downloading of the data, and then just gradually went through the gears up to round 4, and that's when he started to put his foot down. Everything Canelo did tonight, Bud Crawford had an answer for it.
Adam's words highlighted the control Crawford had in every second of the match. This wasn't just about winning rounds. It was about leading the fight's entire narrative. His breakdown made it clear that Crawford left no room for doubt. No weak spots. No unanswered questions. It was a complete lesson in the art of boxing, a performance that pushed Crawford's reputation even higher. But Adam didn't stop there. He kept digging, exploring why this night was more than just another win. His take had the kind of energy that comes from someone who knows they've just seen something special.
Not only that, if you go back and watch the previews that we did throughout the course of the week, we said that this is a game of IQ. There's going to be movement within the fight. You're going to have to answer different types of questions and bring different types of game plan. Crawford did that. He was able to do it backwards, he was able to do it forwards, he could trade in the pocket, catch the stuff, and then counter. He was absolutely magnificent. Listen, I know this is raw and we've only just walked out the stadium, right?
10 minutes ago.
And when the dust settles on this, we'll probably have better answers and better thought processes. And I'm sure people watching this will get stuck into the comments and maybe say what I'm about to say is quite outlandish. That might be the single best performance that I have ever witnessed live. It was absolutely tremendous. You've got to take into consideration the weight jump. This is a man that was champion at 135, 140, 147, and obviously recently at 154. But let's be honest, he even jumped up to 154 pounds for that. To go then up to 168 and take on the former pound-for-pound #1 king on a Mexican holiday weekend in Las Vegas.
This wasn't analysis for the sake of sounding smart. It was honest admiration for a performance that redefined what a fighter can do in the ring. The way Crawford adjusted, reacted, and stayed in charge, it was like watching a painting come to life. Adam's words captured the feeling that we had just witnessed something truly rare. A night that fans will talk about for years. He then zoomed out to see the big picture. Crawford's climb wasn't just about a win. It was about his rise through the ranks. His take made the moment feel even bigger, especially considering the jump in weight.
The weight jump. This is a man that was champion at 135, 140, 147, and obviously recently at 154. But let's be honest, he even jumped up to 154 pounds for that. To go then up to 168 and take on the former pound-for-pound #1 king on a Mexican holiday weekend in Las Vegas and managed to beat him on the cards when the judges tried to do him. Mate, it is out of this world what Terence Crawford just did. And he needs all the flowers in the world, he needs all the praise in the world. And I don't think you're wrong, mate, by saying he's the pound-for-pound #1. It's an ever-moving list. That performance alone deserves to put him right at the top of the chart.
He reminded everyone what Crawford was really up against. The weight difference, the big stage, and all the odds stacked against him. This wasn't just about beating Canelo. It was about breaking through every barrier that should have made it impossible. Adam's breakdown didn't just show a man who won a fight. It showed a man rewriting history. From there, this victory became one of boxing's biggest achievements, worthy of every round of applause. Then came Pauli Malignaggi, and he kicked off his take with a powerful statement. He didn't just describe the action. He set the stage for a night people will never forget.
Terence "Bud" Crawford makes history. I mean, that's the only way I can really start out this video. A lot to unpack on an amazing performance by Terence Crawford. Wasn't the most exciting fight, but really it was about Bud Crawford. It was about what he accomplished tonight, and it was about, you know, becoming the first undisputed world champion in the 4-belt era in 3 different weight classes. Really, and the way he did it, and you know, the class that he showed all throughout the preparation, and just flawless. I mean, Terence Crawford has had an amazing career against a lot of very good fighters and world-class fighters, and honestly has barely lost a round.
Pauli focused on what really mattered. Not just the win, but how Crawford carried himself in the ring. It wasn't about putting on a show. It was about total control and calm confidence. Pauli painted the picture of a fighter who has quietly built one of boxing's strongest records. A career not just filled with wins, but filled with fights where his opponents barely stood a chance. He then took it further, diving into the strategy behind the victory. His breakdown wasn't about hype. It was about smart, disciplined execution.
Crawford really boxed very, very well, very, very intelligently. The question mark was what happens when Crawford gets hit cleanly. I'm not sure he got hit cleanly the whole fight. You know, he got hit with some partial shots. Some shots landed cleanly, but by the time Canelo started landing anything cleanly, I think he was hesitant because he was getting countered so much that he was taking some of the steam off the shots in order to hope to be more accurate. Because even late in the fight, there were a couple of shots that Canelo landed, but they barely moved Crawford, you know. There were some good body shots Canelo was throwing, but Crawford started countering those very, very well. I think the key point started coming once after the first round. Crawford shifted a lot and moved a lot. I wanted to just kind of see where Canelo's power was at. He caught a couple of shots on the gloves, and I think there came a point in the first 1 or 2 rounds where Crawford said, this guy's not as strong as I thought. Because you started seeing Crawford hold his ground more and more. And you started seeing Crawford, you know, doing a lot of catching and shooting.
Every change, every move Crawford made told the story of a fighter completely in charge. Paoli explained how even when Canelo tried to land something big, Crawford's timing and sharpness took the power away. That's not just talent, that's intelligence at the highest level. His take showed that Crawford didn't just survive the fight. He took it apart with his mind and his fists. Finally, Paoli honed in on Crawford's sharpness, showing how it started getting to Canelo. The frustration was clear, and Paulie's words made sure everyone saw it.
To do a lot of catching and shooting, you got to be willing to take the shot, even if you're going to block it. If a guy's a big puncher, even blocking it can be uncomfortable. And Crawford started getting comfortable catching and shooting, especially when Canelo tried to go to the body. Crawford was catching the shots and coming back with the counters, sharp shots. Crawford never loaded up, but he was sharp the whole night. Sharp with the jab, sharp with the counters, some well-placed body shots as well. Canelo landed here and there. I thought Canelo got really frustrated. I felt that headbutt was a little bit more than accidental, to tell you the truth. When he cut Crawford, I thought that was a little bit more of frustration, because the headbutt may have been accidental, but then you saw Canelo kind of dig his head in Crawford's face. So I thought there was some frustration from Canelo's perspective, because he ran out of answers.